Have you ever been dieting and you hit a weight loss plateau when your body just stops responding? What can you do at that point? Well, maybe you can eat a little bit less food, but if you've already dropped your food before, that may not be a good idea to try to do that again. Do more cardio? Really? Today I'd like to give you 2 tools that you can use to bust through these weight loss plateaus, refeeds, and diet breaks. In order to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit over a long period of time. However, our bodies are engineered to make that kind of difficult for us. The body's going to adapt because it thinks you are in a famine. It doesn't realize you're just on a diet. This adaptation can be as simple as just making us feel less energetic, and so we won't move around as much. You're also going to notice your hunger hormones change and you will become very, very hungry. And dieting is physically and emotionally stressful. This is an important point to understand because it makes it really hard to stick with your program as time goes on. So you're on this diet for a long period of time, all of a sudden your body stops responding, you're not seeing any progress, and your ability to handle day-to-day stress is going to drop too. People who are successful, what do? They're strategic. They use refeeds and diet breaks. They have a specific plan about when they're going to eat more and for how long they're going to eat more. And that's going to help them stay on track for the rest of their diet until they get to their goal weight. Diet breaks have been studied, and the big takeaways on the research are periodic increases in food will keep fat burning running at an optimum level. Diet breaks do not interfere with the total fat loss over time. We've also learned that slow weight loss is best to avoid losing muscle. People who use planned and controlled diet breaks are more likely to keep their weight off because diet breaks teach us how to maintain our fat loss. Maintaining your fat loss is a skill that a lot of people don't learn while they're losing their weight, so after they stop their diet, they start gaining their weight back again. Physique athletes have used this approach, but they take fat loss farther. When I was competing, I would take a year or more to diet down to get into that contest conditioning. I used diet breaks all along the way. Losing fat works the same for everyone, but if you're not a competitor, you won't take your fat loss to that extreme. What's the difference between refeeds and diet breaks and maybe using a cheat meal or a cheat day? The biggest difference between a refeed and a cheat meal is that cheat meals are uncontrolled. Usually people don't track their food and they eat whatever they want to eat. And that can be a great psychological break. And that might be just what you need, but it can backfire. For some people, that cheat day will turn into a cheat weekend. There'll be a little bit of a weight gain, and most likely that's going to be water weight gain from the extra food, but it's still very discouraging. They might feel like you screwed up, might feel like you lost control, and then just quit altogether. But not taking a break when you need one isn't going to work either. So let's talk about refeeds specifically. A refeed is a controlled increase in food for 1 to 2 days, preferably in carbs to replenish the glycogen in your muscles because glycogen is the energy source. How much more food? Well, you'll bring your calories up to just maintenance. Maintenance level is where your food intake matches your energy expenditure. You're still tracking your food. This is a controlled approach. How often should you do this? Well, the frequency is going to vary from person to person. Here are a couple of general guidelines. If you're just getting started, you can actually put a refeed in, probably not until you're into the diet about 10 days to 2 weeks. If you've been at this for a while and you're leaner now, but you're not really at your goal yet, you can refeed once a week and then stretch that from 1 day to 2 days. Refeeds are only going to work for so long though. Eventually, after a few months, there's going to be a natural adaptation to the lower calorie intake. The body just slows down and fat loss stops. That's when you should implement a full diet break. A full diet break could be just a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a month, it could be 2 months, or it may even be longer. When you go into a full diet break, you're going to bring your calories up to maintain your current weight for that phase. However, this is really important. If you've lost weight, your maintenance calorie number is not the same as it was when you were a little bit heavier. When your body is smaller, it takes fewer calories to maintain that weight. But here's a fun fact. It's not something that always happens, but it's also not unusual to see fat loss continue during a diet break. You finish your diet break, you'll start back into a diet phase, going back into a calorie deficit, and then over time, you repeat these cycles. Cycle between diet phases and diet breaks, and you'll just keep doing that until you cycle down to your goal weight. Now you have a strategy for using refeeds and diet breaks so that you can bust through weight loss plateaus and get to your goal weight. Have you ever hit a weight loss plateau? If you did, how long did it take for you to be on your diet before things just stalled out? Tell me in the comments.